What does it feel like to get an Asperger's diagnosis in your 40s after a life of not knowing, after a life of searching for answers? I shared in my video, part 5 of 5, Diagnosis Diary, that I just felt such tremendous relief. There is another Aspie female that wrote something that so beautifully demonstrates what it feels like, and I think she says it's so much better than any way I could, so I'm going to read it to you. She gave me permission to read it, but asked that I did not give her name, so I just want to thank her for her generosity. So, how does it feel to have a label for the things I've been experiencing in my life? Let me explain. Let's just imagine for a minute that people have never heard of something like flu. Now there is a girl and she starts to feel weak and some pain in her joints. She feels scared a bit and has no idea what is happening to her. Then her throat begins to hurt and her nose starts running too. She tries to hide all these strange sensations from others and pretends that nothing is happening, but this effort to hide it all drains her energies and makes the symptoms even worse. Then she can't control it any longer and sneezes in public. What a shock! People on the street stare at her and shake their head. Some others laugh at her, and somebody even crosses the street to avoid passing her. She feels judged, hated, and very different from the others. And this goes on for weeks with mixed periods of full control and shameful exposure. She starts to feel isolated. Her mood is low most of the time, and she loses motivation to socialize. It just seems too much effort to hide the symptoms. She has thoughts crossing her mind that maybe she will never be understood or accepted again. Even more, she starts internalizing others' judgments and believes herself that she is a weirdo and should be ashamed of her runny nose, painful joints, and coughing. Her self-esteem drops down rapidly, and she cannot live a fully functioning life anymore. Then one day she comes across something called the flu. Some doctors say it is a group of symptoms such as aches, runny nose, and sore throat. She cannot believe her eyes when she reads this. She cries and keeps on reading. She realizes that she has flu. In that moment, some kind of heavy weight lifts off from her heart. She can now start her journey toward self-acceptance. She can even forget what it feels like to be ashamed all the time and not trying to hide her symptoms. And one day soon, she will find other people who had the flu and will be able to connect in an honest way to them. She is saved. So, I just find that so powerful. It gives such a great imagery. And what's so amazing is where she talks about that darkness being lifted from her heart. I share that exact same thing in my part 5 of 5 video. It's so validating and so interesting to hear all of us women having the same experiences and talking about it in exactly the same way. That's exactly how I felt. It was literally a darkness being lifted from my heart. I just want to thank her and thank you for listening.